Darth, Theorist, rise. What if Padme discovered and executed Order 65? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. The Senate building's vast corridors echo with footsteps. Senator Padmé Amidala moves through the marble halls, her elegant robes flowing behind her, but her brown eyes tell she is exhausted and anxious. In her private senatorial office, holographic displays cast blue light across stacks of military deployment records. Her fingertips dance across the data streams, cross-referencing troop movements with battle plans filed by Jedi generals across dozens of systems. Something is wrong. The realization settles in her chest like ice.
Why would the 501st Legion have companies stationed on Alderaan when Anakin's mission report placed them in the Outer Rim?
The discrepancy is small, maybe a clerical error or delayed update. Padme has learned that small inconsistencies can indicate larger issues. She opens another report, then another, frowning as the pattern becomes clear. Clone battalions are positioned near Senate districts instead of active war zones. Garrison deployments do not match published strategic plans. Companies appear stationed more to control populations than to fight separatists. Her private communications terminal chimes with an encrypted message. Senator Bail Organa appears in the hologram.
Padme, I've been reviewing the military appropriations you flagged. The deployment patterns, they're unusual.
Unusual enough to concern you?
Concerning enough that I've asked Mom to review them as well. Are you available for a discreet meeting?
3 hours later, Bail Organa's private study feels more like a war room than a senator's retreat. Mon Mothma sits in a high-backed chair, her auburn hair catching the lamplight as she reviews the data that has consumed Padme's thoughts for days. The room's warm wood paneling and soft lighting can't quite dispel the chill of conspiracy that has settled over their gathering.
These deployment records show a systematic pattern. Clone units being positioned for domestic security rather than military operations.
The Chancellor has emergency powers, but this feels like preparation for something beyond wartime governance.
I've cross-referenced the data with public battle records. In 17 instances, clone commanders filed contradictory mission summaries. Small differences, but consistent.
As if they're following orders the Jedi generals don't know about.
The words hang in the air like an accusation none of them want to voice. Outside Bail's window, Coruscant's endless cityscape glitters with the lights of a trillion beings going about their lives, unaware.
I need to speak with someone who understands clone protocols. Someone with access to their training and command structure.
Shakti. She oversees Camino operations.
Then I must hurry.
2 days later, Padme finds herself in the Jedi Temple's communication chamber. The ancient spires around her a stark reminder of how much the galaxy has changed since the war began. Master Shakti appears as a shimmering hologram.
Senator Amidala, your request for this meeting was unexpected. Clone ethics and oversight aren't typically legislative concerns.
The Senate has a responsibility to ensure our military forces serve the Republic's interests. I've been reviewing deployment patterns and noticed some irregularities.
What kind of irregularities?
Clone units following orders that don't appear in any Jedi battle plans. Deployments that seem designed for domestic control rather than military objectives. Master T, what safeguards exist if someone misuses the clone army?
The clone army was created with various protocols, contingencies for different scenarios. But Senator, I have limited access to the complete programming specifications.
Limited how?
The Kaminoans maintain operational security around certain command functions. They say it's to prevent enemy infiltration, but...
But it also prevents oversight.
Days later, Shakti contacts Padme with urgent news. Her investigation into clone protocols has revealed hidden command structures that operate outside Jedi oversight, including contingency orders capable of overriding normal military control. She explains that the deeper layers of the system are heavily encrypted and blocked behind security clearances even she cannot bypass. Shakti requests assistance from someone with both advanced technical skill and high-level Jedi authority. Padme immediately recognizes that Anakin and Obi-Wan together are the only viable option. The decision to expand their conspiracy feels monumental. Each additional person increases both their chances of success and their risk of exposure. That evening, in the secure conference room of Bail Organa's private office, 4 figures gather around a holographic display, showing the known clone command structure. The room's sound dampeners and privacy shields create an invisible fortress against electronic surveillance.
The patterns you've identified are deeply troubling. If these deployment records are accurate,
Someone is indeed positioning clone forces for domestic control rather than military objectives.
Master, we're talking about spying on the Chancellor of the Republic. This feels wrong on every level.
Anakin, I share your reservations. But if there are hidden protocols that could be used against the Jedi or the Senate, we have a responsibility to uncover them.
Your loyalty is admirable, my young friend. Chancellor Palpatine has indeed been a mentor to you, but we must consider the possibility that even mentors can have hidden agendas.
I have a bad feeling about this. It feels wrong. Treacherous. We're planning to break into military databases based on suspicions and circumstantial evidence. I can't do this. I can't participate in what might be a betrayal of someone who has always trusted me.
I understand, Anakin. Your feelings do you credit.
But I won't stop you either. If you find concrete proof, or you uncover evidence of genuine wrongdoing...
That's enough. We understand.
The Kamino infiltration takes place during the facility's night cycle, when most personnel are in rest periods and security protocols operate on skeleton crews. Shaak Ti and Obi-Wan move through the sterile corridors, their force abilities masking their presence from electronic sensors. In the central database chamber, towering servers hum with the stored knowledge of clone creation, training, and command protocols. Shaak Ti's fingers dance across the holographic interfaces while Obi-Wan monitors for security alerts.
I'm accessing the contingency protocols now. These files, they're massive. Order 65, Order 66, dozens of scenarios I've never seen.
Transfer everything to Senator Amidala immediately. I sense security forces approaching. The data transmission occurs in tense seconds, terabytes of classified information racing across hyperspace communication channels to Padme's secure servers on Coruscant. As the final files transfer, the soft hiss of opening blast doors announces the arrival of trouble. 6 Kaminoan security officers enter the database chamber, their sleek armor gleaming under the facility's sterile lighting. Behind them, a Kaminoan administrator floats forward on a repulsor platform, her large eyes reflecting disappointment and confusion.
Master Jedi, you are accessing classified materials without authorization. Please step away from the terminals.
We mean no harm. We're investigating potential threats to Republic security. All Jedi access requires prior clearance. You will submit to detention pending investigation. Shaak Ti exchanges a quick glance with Obi-Wan. Both understand that resistance could escalate this into something that would draw unwanted attention from Coruscant, but they also know that some resistance is expected. Surrendering too easily would seem suspicious. I'm afraid we cannot comply with that request. The brief skirmish unfolds with precise control. Obi-Wan steps forward first, redirecting stun bolts into the walls with clean, deliberate parries, never striking back. Shaak Ti moves in tandem, using targeted force pushes to knock guards off balance and disarm them without injury. When 2 troopers rush her flank, she sweeps their legs with a controlled spin and pulls their blasters into her hand. Obi-Wan purposefully limits his speed, letting the fight appear difficult. After half a minute, he and Shaak Ti deliberately yield under the appearance of being overwhelmed.
Enough! We yield.
Obi-Wan and Shaak Ti lower their weapons and surrender. The Kaminoans pause, unsure how to respond. Intruders rarely stop fighting so abruptly, especially when they seem to be gaining the upper hand. Nala Se steps forward, puzzled by the sudden compliance, her expression betraying mild confusion. She doesn't realize why they have surrendered. To her, it simply makes no logical sense, and she can only observe in silence as the clones take them into custody. Their willing surrender serves multiple purposes. Fighting to escape would have triggered massive security alerts, potentially reaching Palpatine's attention before Padme could act on the evidence. More importantly, being captured gives them credibility. They risked everything to obtain this information, lending weight to whatever it reveals. As Kaminoan security forces escort them to detention cells, both Jedi feel a mixture of satisfaction and apprehension. The evidence has been secured and transmitted. Now they can only wait and hope that Padme can act quickly enough to prevent whatever catastrophe those files reveal. The Chancellor's office buzzes with tension as Administrator Nala Se's holographic form delivers her report to Palpatine. The Kaminoan's large eyes reflect confusion and concern as she recounts the previous night's events on her distant world.
Chancellor, 2 Jedi infiltrated our security databases without authorization. They accessed classified clone protocols before we could stop them.
Which protocols did they access?
The contingency orders, sir. All of them, including Order 65 and 66.
And they transmitted this information?
Yes, Chancellor. To encrypt receivers on Coruscant. We await your instructions.
This is clearly treason against the Republic. I'll prepare court-martial proceedings immediately. As Nalisay's hologram fades, Palpatine activates a different communication array. Count Dooku's aristocratic features appear in the blue projection field. He informs him that the Jedi have uncovered parts of their contingency plans and orders Grievous and the Separatists' fleet to stand by. Though hoping to resolve this crisis politically, Palpatine prepares for immediate military escalation if events turn against him. Across the city, in Padmé's apartment, Anakin stares at the holographic displays that have shattered his understanding of everything he thought he knew. Contingency orders scroll across multiple screens, but one draws Padmé's complete attention.
Order 65. In the event that the Supreme Chancellor has been declared unfit for duty by the Senate, the clone commanders will arrest or detain the Chancellor and assume emergency authority until a successor can be appointed.
There's a failsafe. The Senate can remove him.
More than that. This order has the same priority classification as Order 66. It can override Palpatine's authority over the clones. We need to call an emergency session immediately.
Before she can activate her communication terminal, it chimes with an incoming priority message.
Senator Amidala, Chancellor Palpatine has called an emergency session. The charges against Masters Kenobi and T will be presented within the hour.
Padmé's blood turns cold. Palpatine is moving faster than anticipated, trying to control the narrative before she can reveal the truth. The Senate chamber fills with unprecedented speed, and representatives from across the galaxy respond to the emergency summons. Chancellor Palpatine stands at the central podium, his presence commanding attention through decades of practiced authority.
Fellow senators, we face a crisis that strikes at the heart of our republic. 2 Jedi Masters have committed acts of espionage against our military forces, accessing classified information vital to our war effort.
Murmurs of shock ripple through the assembled representatives. Many lean forward in their seats, straining to hear every word.
Masters Obi-Wan Kenobi and Shakti violated their sacred trust, breaking into Kaminoan facilities and stealing military secrets. This betrayal cannot stand unpunished.
What were they seeking to discover, Chancellor?
Intelligence that could compromise our clone forces. Information that in enemy hands could cost us the war itself.
Padmé rises from her platform, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber's acoustics.
Chancellor Palpatine speaks of betrayal, but he fails to mention what those Jedi discovered.
Senator Amidala, this is not time for political grandstanding.
This is exactly the time for the truth. The Jedi accessed those files because suspicious deployment patterns suggested our clone army was being positioned for purposes beyond fighting separatists.
The chamber erupts in confused conversations. Representatives exchange worried glances as the implications begin to sink in.
I will not stand here and listen to accusations against this administration. The Jedi Council has overstepped its authority for the last time.
Padmé activates her platform's holographic display. Tons of files and protocols that were kept hidden from the Republic and the Jedi Order.
Then let the evidence speak for itself.
The contingency orders materialize in the chamber's central space, their classified markings visible to every senator present. Order 65 glows prominently among the documents.
Order 66. In the event of Jedi officers acting against the interests of the Republic, GAR commanders will remove those officers by lethal force.
The chamber falls silent. Hundreds of senators stare at the evidence of systematic preparation for the destruction of the Jedi Order.
These orders authorize the extermination of our peacekeepers.
The Chancellor has positioned himself to eliminate any opposition to his rule.
The Chancellor has guided us through this war. These could be fabricated documents meant to undermine his authority.
In times of war, extreme measures may be necessary for security.
The debate rages across the chamber. Accusations fly from platform to platform as senators align themselves with competing visions of the Republic's future. Padmé watches the vote tallies display in real time, her heart pounding as numbers shift moment by moment.
We must act now before it's too late.
Removing a sitting chancellor during wartime could destroy our stability.
The final vote approaches with agonizing slowness. Padmé counts and recounts, watching as undecided senators make their choices.
The motion to declare Chancellor Palpatine unfit for command passes by a margin of 51 to 49%.
The chamber erupts in chaos. Palpatine's supporters shout protests while his opponents celebrate grimly. But Palpatine himself stands motionless at the central podium, his expression shifting from shock to cold fury.
I move for the immediate activation of Emergency Protocol 65.
His authentication codes race across communication channels to clone commanders throughout the galaxy. Warning alarms begin sounding from Coruscant's orbital defense stations.
Massive separatist fleet emerging from hyperspace. All defense positions. Prepare for engagement.
Through the Senate chamber's transparent steel dome, the dark shapes of separatist warships blot out sections of the sky. Count Dooku's timing is perfect, his forces arriving just as the Republic tears itself apart from within. The dome fractures under the impact of falling debris as Separatist landing craft crash through the Coruscant's upper atmosphere. The ordered debates of moments before dissolve into chaos as senators scramble for emergency exits, their platforms swaying under the building's structural stress. Explosions echo across the city's surface as battle droids pour from transport ships, their metallic voices coordinating attacks against clone positions. The 501st Legion engages droid forces in the Senate Plaza, while starfighters weave between skyscrapers and deadly aerial combat. Through the chamber's main entrance, the distinctive sound of mechanical breathing announces new arrivals. General Grievous strides into the Senate Hall, his 4 lightsabers ignited, followed by super battle droids and destroyer droids that take defensive positions around the circular chamber. Behind them, Count Dooku walks with aristocratic calm, his red lightsaber humming softly at his side. His cape flows behind him as he surveys the cowering senators with cold amusement.
Senators of the Republic, I bring greetings from the Confederacy of Independent Systems.
Why are you here, Count? What do you want with the Senate?
My dear Senator Amidala, you have uncovered so much evidence, pieced together so many clues, yet you still fail to see the complete picture.
Stop with your riddles. Answer the question.
You ask why I am here when you should ask who invited me.
I invited him, my dear. After all, one must always have contingencies when dealing with democracy's inconveniences.
The remaining senators gasp in collective shock. Bail Organa staggers backward, while Mon Mothma's face drains of color. The man they trusted with emergency powers, who guided them through years of war, stands revealed as their greatest enemy.
You're the Sith Lord. You've been controlling both sides.
The war, the clone army, the very republic you cherish, all of it shaped by my design, today simply accelerates my inevitable victory.
The chamber erupts into violence as Jedi burst through secondary entrances. Obi-Wan and Shaak Ti advance on Grievous, while Mace Windu and Yoda move toward Dooku with grim determination. Anakin ignites his lightsaber, his face twisted with betrayal and rage as he faces the man who has manipulated him since childhood.
You used me. Everything you taught me. Every kindness you showed. It was all lies.
I made you strong. Without me, you would have remained a slave on that pathetic desert world.
The lightning crashes against Anakin's lightsaber, but the sheer power forces him backwards across the Senate floor. Sidious follows, his aged facade completely abandoned as his dark side energy courses through his body. His red blade moves with deadly precision, each strike designed to exploit weaknesses he has observed in Anakin's technique for years. Anakin parries, his blue lightsaber leaving trails of light as he blocks strikes that would have killed any lesser warrior. But emotional turmoil clouds his focus. 17 years of trust shattered in moments. The realization that every conversation, every moment of guidance was manipulation.
Your anger makes you powerful, but your conflict makes you weak.
The Sith Lord's blade slices across Anakin's shoulder, drawing blood and a cry of pain. Anakin stumbles, barely avoiding a killing strike that sears the air where his head had been. But as Sidious raises his weapon for the final blow, Anakin finds clarity in the chaos. This fight isn't about his anger or his past. It's about protecting everyone he loves from the monster who has deceived them all.
My conflict is strength. It means I can still choose.
His counterattack drives Sidious back, his blue energy clashing against red in a shower of sparks. The two combatants circle each other among the Senate platforms, their battle destroying centuries of political tradition. Across the chamber, Grievous proves why he is called the Jedi Killer. His 4 lightsabers create a whirling death machine that forces both Obi-Wan and Shaak Ti to fight for their lives. The cyborg's mechanical advantages, no fatigue, perfect coordination, inhuman speed, nearly overwhelm their combined skills. He swings forward, then back, cackling as he taunts them with death and a pining for their prized lightsabers. Obi-Wan's defense mastery keeps him alive, as green and blue energy block the cyborg's relentless assault, but Grievous adapts to every technique, learning from each exchange. Shaak Ti attempts to flank the general, but his additional arms allow him to block her strikes while maintaining pressure on Obi-Wan. Her lightsaber carves through destroyer droids, but Grievous remains untouchable. The tide turns when Obi-Wan deliberately leaves himself open, accepting a grievous wound to his side in order to create an opportunity.
Your hatred has made you clumsy, Grievous.
The general's triumph turns to shock as Shaak Ti's lightsaber pierces his mechanical heart, while Obi-Wan's blade severs crucial control circuits. Electronic screams fill the chamber as the infamous Jedi killer falls silent forever. Meanwhile, Count Dooku demonstrates why he was once considered among the greatest Jedi ever trained. His aggressive Form 2 turns Mace Windu's aggressive attacks aside with minimal effort, while simultaneously engaging Yoda's unpredictable assault patterns. The Count's red blade flows between defensive positions and lightning-quick ripostes that keep both Jedi Masters on the edge of death. His aristocratic composure never breaks. Even his sweat begins to show the strain of fighting two opponents simultaneously.
Your technique is flawless, but your cause is hollow.
Technique will suffice when passion clouds judgment.
But even Dooku's mastery has limits. Yoda's impossible speed and Mace Windu's relentless power gradually wear down his defenses. A momentary hesitation, a single heartbeat where the Count attempts to assist his struggling master, allows both Jedi to strike simultaneously. Dooku's red blade flies from nerveless fingers as Yoda's lightsaber burns across his wrist, while Mace Windu's purple energy stops millimeters from his throat. Back at the center of the chamber, Anakin and Sidious fight with the fury of personal betrayal. The Sith Lord's power is immense, but Anakin's youth and righteous anger begin to tell. A final exchange sees both warriors bloodied and exhausted. Sidious stumbles, his lightsaber wavering, and Anakin's blade sweeps it from his grasp. The once mighty Chancellor falls to his knees, finally powerless. Within minutes, both Sith Lords find themselves disarmed and surrounded by Republic forces. Clone Commander Fox secures energy binders around Palpatine's wrists, while the fallen Chancellor's yellow eyes burn with impotent fury.
This victory is temporary. The dark side is eternal.
Maybe, but today, the light won.
With Palpatine and Dooku secure, Clone Commander Fox activates Order 65. Clone Commanders stand down, overriding previous loyalty. The leaderless Separatist fleet surrenders within hours, ending 3 years of war with minimal destruction. In the Senate, Padme emerges as a transitional leader, guiding reforms to prevent future abuses of emergency power. Anakin stands beside her, vindicated for trusting evidence over blind loyalty. Obi-Wan and Shaak Ti are cleared of treason, recognized as heroes. The Jedi Council, humbled by the Sith plot, pledges greater political awareness while maintaining peacekeeping duties. The captured Sith Lords will face trial, demonstrating the Republic's commitment to justice. Democracy endures, the Republic survives, and the galaxy begins its long path toward recovery. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you'd like to join us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.